Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Joe. Welcome back to SNES's Life Recap number 91. Today we're going to be covering Mickey Mania, NBA Live 95, Operation Thunderbolt, NCAA football, and Koei joint Nobunaga's Revenge 2, or Nobunaga's Ambition 2, Lord of Darkness. So let's get started. First up, Mickey Mania. Now I remember the media blitz that was Mickey Mania. I definitely rented as a kid. In fact, I think this right here is probably as far as I got as a kid. I do remember the scientist's laboratory. I don't think I beat this as a kid though, and I did finish it on this playthrough. Either way, Mickey Mania. Uh, a lot of the Disney games, not all, but a lot of them looked really decent back in the 16-bit area, especially all the ones on the Genesis. Not all the licensed ones are great. Like Snow White was awful, but Aladdin, Lion King, those both looked very good. Mickey Mania was the art styles were good, the animations were good, the music was good, the gameplay was okay. It had a few downs. Primarily, the camera centered Mickey on the left or right of the screen. So if you turned, the screen would shift over, and that could really make some jumps and pretty hazardous there. Otherwise, the game actually wasn't too bad. You got this kind of jump section that killed me about 20 friggin' times. Yay, save states. But I gave it a thumbs up. I actually did enjoy the game. I could see, there's most platformers back in the 90s definitely had some of that rote memorization to it. Like, you just have to kind of memorize things. And that's all there is to it. You get good, you memorize it. And the save states today saved me a lot. But not a bad game. Considering the last set of games I had was pretty much all thumbs down, I think, except maybe one. Happy to have started this set with a thumbs up. Next up, NBA Live 95. This is 5-on-5 basketball, and it's the isometric view you can see. If you've been with us long enough, you know that I'm not a huge fan of isometric view sports games or verticals. I prefer the horizontal sports games, left to right, And this one was okay on the isometric view. The graphics were all right. The sprites weren't amazing. They were absolutely acceptable. I've definitely seen worse sprite work. No music, of course. Sports games. This game has both a simulation mode, though, and an arcade mode. And I played the arcade modes. And it very much has... It felt a little slow at first until you kind of got going, and then you kind of adjust your mind adjusts to the speed of the game, And it felt equivalent. It didn't control as well, but it felt quite a bit like NBA Jam, just 5-on-5 instead of 2-on-2. And I actually really enjoyed my time with this game. And I think as a two-player game especially, this would have been a lot of fun to have played with Joey or someone else, another person. So while sports simulation games are basically never going to get a thumbs up from me, I think I thumbed up the first Madden more out of respect for what that series did than because of what it was. This one actually played well, and I did enjoy it. I can't speak to the simulation side of things, but the graphics were fine, the sound was fine, and the gameplay controlled well enough. I gave it a thumbs up. I don't give a lot of sports games thumbs up, that's for sure. But this one was enjoyable, so I think this one's probably worth looking up if you're a basketball fan. Next up, Operation Thunder. This game was a massive disappointment, considering it is the sequel to Operation Wolf. And Operation Wolf is an old arcade light gun shooter. I don't know if Thunderbolt got released on the arcades, but it came out in like '89, I think. So this is a port of a 4 or 5 year old game, I guess, at the time, and it looks rough. It is Super Scope compatible. I don't own the physical of this because it's like $80, and I can't understand why. Give you $80 for this piece of garbage. It is mouse compatible. I did play it with the mouse. The mouse was awful. And then I played it with the controller, which at least made it playable, but not functional. You're trying to move your cursor around and catch these things flying on screen. You're just never going to finish it that way, I don't think. The graphics were rudimentary. The music and sound were rudimentary. The control was not great. I assume it would actually be better with a proper light gun because you could quickly aim at things. But I don't understand how it's got a $70 to $80 price tag on the secondhand market. Like, I guess because nobody bought it, and nobody bought it for a good reason, because it plays like ass. So a hard thumbs down for Operation Thunderbolt. So disappointing, because we all know I love light gun games. But yeah, not good, not good at all. Next up, NCAA football, college football. This is, it's got all the right pinnings. It's a horizontal football game, very a la Tecmo Bowl. We all know I love Tecmo Bowl. And much as Tecmo Bowl, I gave this game a thumbs up. It is, the sprites are really kind of small and chunky and muddy looking. Nothing sharp in this game. The plays were decent. The access to like how to use them was fine. It operates pretty much the same as every other football game ever at this stage. But it just played well. I don't think it had music either now, stopping to think of it. But that's okay. I'm just used to sports games generally not having music. But it played well, and that's the important part. And yeah, graphically, like I said, not great. Pardon me. I think there were some real misses, like that you just saw right there. The end zones are just blank green. Like, how did they not decide to put logos in there? It doesn't even have to be a real team logo. Just give it color, for God's sakes. There's no crowd animations or anything special here. There's no border there, just a black border. Super simple game. They clearly just pumped it out. But, if you're going to pick a game to clone and pump one out, picking Tecmo Bowl is not the bad one to clone, because like I said, it played well. I actually give it a thumbs up. Like, I think most of the horizontal football games I've played have been enjoyable enough to be like, yeah, go get it. It's cheap enough. It's like $10. Play that game. Not so bad. Final game, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness. It's a Koei joint. It's a deep, deep strategy game. It's crunchy as shit. You get to fight your battles. I managed to. I didn't lose. I was gonna. There's no question I was gonna lose the game eventually. But I played it for its hour. The more of these I play, the more I get used to kind of how they control. And this one wasn't a whole lot different than the others. I'm never going to give these a thumbs up. It is a genre that I think a strategy genre is fine. A strategy genre like this, I think, to me, belongs on the PC. And I don't think they belong on consoles. Now, that's partly because there's just so many menus and moving things around and controlling and directing. But also, they're boring to me. I like an RTS, a modern RTS. Anything from like StarCraft, Civilization, Age of Empires, those were all great. But these old strategy games like this just do nothing for me. And I know that they've got their fans out there, they wouldn't exist, but god damn, they made a lot of them for the Super Nintendo. Thumbs down, though. Nobunaga's Ambition. I already played Nobunaga's Ambition 1, like a second one was going to get me right. But you got to go through every game on the Super Nintendo. You got to go through every game on the goddamn Super Nintendo, and so I do. But I'm excited. Week 91 here. We ended up Group 91. We ended up with 3 thumbs ups, which is pretty decent. It's a hell of a lot better than the last set. But that's it, guys. So definitely, I think giving Mickey Mania, NBA Live 95, and NCAA football a chance if you ever get a shot at them. Mickey Mania, especially out of this, I do love a good platformer. But Op Thunderbolt and Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness now. That's a big thumbs down on those two. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you in a while for grouping 92. What we got in there? We got a shmup. We got got a bad mascot platformer, if I recall. I think there's a second platform in there, like Snow White. I don't remember if it's Snow White. I feel like there's another princess platformer in there that's probably going to be garbage. And I don't remember the others. But yeah, we'll see you guys then. And keep up with the channel and everything. I appreciate you. Just hit us on Twitter, what have you. Have a good one.